Defense is making some plays out here. How important is that to build confidence for this group?
Yeah, I mean the guys enjoy getting out here and working, competing against each other, and I thought it was a good day. Good energy needs to be built on for tomorrow.
And the second half, sort of things start to fall apart a little bit in the second half. Well, what do you think that is, and could fitness be a factor for just maintaining that play throughout the whole game?
No, I mean these guys are professional athletes, right? We got to learn how to finish, and we need to finish games, and that's what it comes down to, right? It comes down to plays that you miss throughout the course of the game, and leads up to them having a chance to beat us in the end. So our focus has got to be ramped up, and we'd be better at playing more consistently and finishing games at the end.
Any specific adjustments that were made here at training in this week leading up to Ottawa this weekend?
Yeah, there's always adjustments, and there'll be adjustments this week as well.
Are you surprised at the way you guys have finished of late? Because it felt like you were getting better at points.
Yeah, I think we still are growing in places. It wasn't our best performance, last week. So, we're excited to get out there and fix the wrongs and be better.
What are the challenges of playing the same team twice in a row?
Yeah, it's the challenges, but there's also positives too, right? We're able to look at things that we did and ways to improve. You look at yourself a lot, but challenges are it's you just saw them. You try not to overthink it. You got to go out there and play fast. The bottom line is the team that makes the fewest mistakes usually wins.
Crum started to make plays in that second half. Is there more of an emphasis to contain him, to make sure he doesn't get out of the pocket going into this?
Yeah, he's a great athlete, and kudos to him. He has really grown into the player that we saw last week, and he throws the ball well. He's got good command of the offense, and for us, it was emphasis going in last week, right? So we know he's dynamic, and we know what he can do with his legs and also, with his arms and some of the weapons that they have, right? So, we just got to make sure we're on top of those things.
Where are you at on the team taking penalties?
Yeah, I mean, can't happen. Can't happen. We address it internally, and we got to be better.
Thanks. I was going to say, how do you elevate your play when it matters most? I mean, this team is shown, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, to play some good football. I mean, first half against Ottawa, and yet when the chips are on the line, so to speak, they've got to elevate that level, and they still haven't found that level, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's a mindset, right? I mean, people talk about adjustments and half times and all those kind of things. I think, your mindset needs to be focused on where you are, right? Momentum shifts and changes. How we deal with adversity, how we deal with success. We got to make sure that we stay poised and we finish the job and do our job. Focus on ourselves. That's where it's always been. And I thought we lost focus on, what was really important in that game.
How do you develop that?
Well, you got to be in those situations. You have to learn from them, right? I mean, as coaches, you try and put them in those situations as much as possible. You try and, show them on the film. But it's a belief and it's a trust in everybody. And I think really you want players to be able to, perform at their best when their best is required. And that's every week in this league. That's every week. So, as coaches, we got to continue to put them in those situations, see how they learn. But at the end, you want players to be able to, step up and make plays when plays are there to be made, right? So until you actually do it and go through it, and guys have made plays all year, right? It's just the consistency of being able to make those plays at that time.